Hey guys, it's Adam from the Dimensional Gamer Squad here, bringing you with a continuation of the ranking of all my Beast Quest books from worst to best. Okay, because my first attempt at recording part 2 was around 11 minutes long, I decided to, because I don't really have much to explain these beasts with, I decided I'd do part 2 and part 3 together to save time. And also, luckily for me, I got Series 11 and Series 12 in the post today for Beast Quest. So, be excited for Beast Views later, well, soon when I get them out of the way. That might take a while though, because I haven't started reading them yet. But yeah, I got 20 books to the left of me, and, well, you're right. And let's get into it, because I've got quite a few. I got quite a bit to talk about these books. Okay, so 50th place is Hellion, the Fiery Foe. Same reason with the next beast to come up on this list. It is a bit too humanoid for my liking. Abilities, abilities are okay but predictable. The fight was also predictable. Plot hole with Tom's shield being in the book, even though it's not supposed to. And the design is a bit too basic, for my opinion. Flamar, which is in Series 11, looks a lot better. Moving on to the next beast. Same reason why it's here. Just a bit better. 49th place is Komodo, the Arctic Warrior. Too humanoid for my liking. Design more complex than Hellion, but still, at the end of the day, a bit basic. The abilities, there's not that many to count, and the fight was a bit off. I don't really like the fight. Story-wise, it is a lot better than Hellion because it had the village or the tribespeople capture the beast before Tom even arrived, so that's really good. Next, in 48th place, we have Book 49, Ursus, the Clawed Roar. This book is here because the design is just a giant bear. So that's it. The fight I liked, ended with Alina getting the final blow onto it. The abilities are kind of bland, there's only one ability and that's something that's very common. So that's pretty much it here. Next is Rock, the Walking Mountain. Bit too humanoid for my liking, again, but more complex than Komodo and Hellion. Story-wise, it's okay. I didn't exactly like it a lot. Abilities are actually really cool and creative, and I don't think I've ever seen abilities like that before. So it's good. In 46th place, we have Minos, the Demon Bull. Book 50. Basically a giant bull for design. Abilities not what you expect of a bull. And the fight was a rodeo, which was unique, but I think it ended a bit too quickly for my liking. So that's why it's in 46th place. In 45th place, we have Conval, the Cold-Blooded Brute. It's only here because it seems to be more like a copy and paste of Komodo, the Lizard King. Hence why Komodo is still in the running to be number 1. Spoiler alert, it's not, because Komodo isn't that great. Conval is here. Abilities are a bit bland. The fight was a bit off, and the concept of the Lost World is that all the beasts are somewhere where in an area where it's not suited to their design. Hellion made sense with where it was supposed to be. So do the others, but this one looks like it should be in the desert, and apparently it is supposed to be in the desert. So that was a bit confusing. I don't understand why Komodo is privileged enough to be in an area where it's actually supposed to be really good in. Next, 44th place, we have Somani, the Raging Flame. This one, even though all the books of Series 10 is amazing, I do need to say Somani was kind of that one book which is like a bit further back compared to the others. It just seemed to be in that forgotten pile of books in each series which barely anyone can remember. So that's why Somani's here. Design, it's too much like stealth, and the abilities, there isn't that many to count. The fight was decent, but that's it. And now in 40, I don't know. Okay, 42nd, 43rd place. There we are. Is Texan, the Armoured Giant. Basically, a giant armadillo with design. Abilities, not that many to count. Armoured placing, similar to Bloodborne. Can curl up in a ball and roll around then. Not repeated, but isn't really that unique, considering armadillos normally do that as well. The fight was too short for me, and with the exception of Taladon's death, there was nothing else that really boosted it higher on the list. So that's why Texan is here. In 42nd place is Komodo the Lizard King. So I told you it wasn't going to be number one. But Komodo is here because it was a unique design back when it was released, until Komodo decided to steal it. I'm sure there was probably another beast which was similar to it before, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Abilities, I can admit the design isn't that good. Abilities, what you expect of a lizard. And the fight, I liked that Komodo basically killed himself. I don't understand why he seemed to be alive after he fell off the cliff and then died a few seconds later. So I just assumed that he died of injuries when Tom sliced off his tail. So he just bled out to death. But I don't know. In 41st place, we have Zephyr, the Monster Squid. Now, don't get me wrong, like all these books here, I really do like this book. It's only here because, well, I think the other books are slightly better. I do like Zephyr a lot. Zephyr's design is, well, unique for the time and is very similar to the Kraken. Abilities, what you expect of a giant squid. And the fight, I liked how it involved Sepron, but that's pretty much it for the fight. So that's not that much holding it. I like that it introduced the golden armour, so that's good. And that will be the end of the part 2. Now moving on to part 3, with 10 more books here at my disposal to say positive and negative things about. Let's put part 2 over here, so then I don't have a tower of books to the right of me, because I already had it at the left. Okay, so let's start off with 40th place being, some of you would have expected it to be earlier, but no, it's here now. Karaka, the Winged Assassin. Now, design, I do like. The fight, as you know, I loved. The abilities is the thing that pulled it down a lot, and the story. The story was a bit messed up. It got rid of the gift basket which Tom and Alina obtained at the end of Minos. Then Karaka just was like, it's not important anyway, no one remembers it. False. Both me and Lucas Green, who shout out to you by the way, both remembered it. And I'm not going to have a repeat of series now, but that goes off every time. Every time that Karaka comes up in a video, that thing always goes off. It's not going off anymore. Because I don't have any other beasts from Series 9 to talk about, so that's yay. Actually don't. Okay. Next for 39th. 39th? Yeah, 39th place is Torno the Hurricane Dragon. The first beast from Series 8 here. Nearly... Well... They nearly made it. Nearly halfway through the list without having one of Series 8 being said. But Torno, I think, was a bit boring in my opinion. Design is really similar to Furno, as well as Vedra and Crimmen, who I don't really care about so just copied Furno. Abilities, unique for the causing hurricanes things, from breathing out of his mouth instead of fire or ice. But the rest are pretty much the same for any other dragon. The fight, I liked it involved Arcta. Arcta got a few extra points from that, but that's pretty much it. Was Arcta in this one? Yeah, I think Arcta is in this one. But other than that, Torno, 39th place. 38th place is another book from Series 8, Bloodborne the Buried Doom. I wanted to like this book, but the design, when I actually got a proper look at it, pulled it down a lot. Abilities, what you would expect. I like that it's actually really clever, but most pigs are clever. Well, pigs are clever anyway. And the armoured placing, it was original for that. But the fight was short as well. I do like one thing about Bloodborne, that's actually on its card. And that's its power being the highest power of any other beast, being 350. And that, I liked that it kind of ended Series 8, which was kind of a mess to begin with. But Series 8 was actually an overall good series, and I liked all the beasts, considering that none of them have made it into Part 1 and Part 2. Only 2 made it in Part 3. Yeah, 2. Okay, next, 47th place. I need to say 37th place is the most underrated book of all the Beast Quests here. Because of... I would say it's the most underrated, one of the most underrated books. And I actually judged it by its cover, and I regretted it. After I read it for the Beast Review, I liked it a lot. And it's actually Arachnid, the King of Spiders. I already told you the story of how I actually got that, and basically, if you weren't watching Series 2 Beast Review, why are you here? I'm just joking, you can stay around if you read it. And basically what happened was, I bought this book because my mum refused to, and she bought me all the Series 3. That's not the reason why it's here though, it was actually a really good story. Design, I admit I don't like. Abilities, what you would expect of a spider. The fight, I liked a lot. It involved Nanook. Bit of a negative, but Nanook got some positive points for killing off Arachnid and sacrificing herself to save Tom, Alina, and Storm, Silver, and whoever that other person was. I actually still can't remember her name. Okay, because after I read these books, I don't read them again until I actually want to, so... Next, we have Crab. 36th place, Crab, Master of the Sea. Great start to Series 5. Much better than Rock and Komodo. What else can I say about Crab? Sorry about that. That was my dogs. Design is just a giant crab, kind of like Arachnid's a giant spider. Bloodborne's a giant pig, basically, and Zephyr's a giant squid. Good thing Zephyr's over there. Abilities, what you would expect off a crab. I like that. I think it can walk on water, so it's great. That's it. Dead vicious pincers. I miss that a lot. Fight was actually really good, and nearly had Tom drown in it. And also, how Tom released Crab, it kind of affected his sword arm or hand for the rest of the Series 5 until Amictus, in which it got healed by Freya, I believe. That's it. Now we're halfway through part 3, and we at 35th place we have the beast which I see in real life as an animal, a pet animal. A white cat with yellow eyes always sits on my front garden. Every time I stare out the window, I go like. So I'm glad to put it here, so I don't need to talk about it again. Hopefully. And here it is, Medora, the Midnight Warrior. That's not the reason why it's here. It's just hilarious. Every time I talk about it, I see a cat outside my window a few minutes later. I like its design. Kind of. It's just a giant cat. I like its abilities with the glass spikes here, and it's really agile. The fight was great as well. Shame a horse dies, but what you gonna do? And that's pretty much it for Medora. Yeah, that was a very quick description. Okay, here, in my opinion, next is actually the most underrated book of all of Beast Quest. I know I said Arachnid was, but this one's more underrated because actually I heard so many negative reviews about this one. But I liked it a lot. And it's Terra, Curse of the Forest. Design-wise, yes, a giant tree, but have you actually seen any plant-life beasts before this? Don't say Merc. Abilities, yes, are amazing. And the design, well, I already talked about the design. The fight was also great as well. Defeated by your own brethren, being, well, trees. So, yeah. I am rushing this now because I have a 20-minute limit-ish with recording. So, 3 more books, 3 more minutes. Okay, next is the first book of Beast Quest, Torno the Fire Dragon. Design, yeah, unique, really good for the first beast and, well, a dragon. So, abilities, what you'd expect of a dragon, and it can camouflage itself as a rock. And the fight was maybe short, but the story was a bit that actually got it here. It introduced us to Tom, Alina, Storm, Silver, Adura, King Hugo, other people, but I need to breathe. Yeah, that's why Torno's here. And Torno's actually really cool. I like it a lot. Now in 32nd place is Vipero the Snake Man. Negative reviews about this book, but I really do like this book. Design is cool because it's great, and it's actually the first beast with 2 heads. Abilities, I admit, are not as good. I don't like that it's actually wearing the golden leg armor. But the fight was actually really good. Alina was out of action, and Epos burns it to a flame. As well as Tom decapitated it twice. And now we're moving on to the final book of this video, being Noctilla the Death Owl. Oh, what can I say about this one? I like the design a lot. It's actually one of my favourites, design-wise. I know it's just a giant owl, but I like the tar on its wings and the flame effect it gives. Abilities, well, it can fly, it can seep tar from its feathers, as well as transform from knight to beast. I should have said that for Texan and Somani, but too late now. But yeah, those abilities, well. The fight was amazing. Inside a forest, I thought a tree would beat Noctilla, but no, a net. Where was that before? Oh yeah, Hexen. So that was kind of repeated in the forest as well. But I don't care. I still like the book. And that is, oh my god, I am actually about to lose my voice. And that, my friends, is all for this time. That is 20 books gone through in the matter of 19 minutes just to extend a video. That is all for this time. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure to press that little bell down in the corner below. Keep in tune with all my other videos that I'm going to upload, as well as Reese now, because he's going to be joining back very soon. Woohoo! What next videos come out will be hopefully on Friday. but it might be Saturday or Sunday as well, because I need to go to a friend of mine who's borrowing one of my books at the moment, and I'm not going to say because that will be the book in the next video. So, like I said, that is all for this time, and I'll see you next time.